Welcome to another episode of the DOL 512 build series. Today is going to be a little bit more special than the last pretty straightforward episode, because I want to make the ladders and the walking plates to go around the boiler. And for the ladders I thought of something a little special. I want to make a die set to be able to bend these nice and accurately, and then a stamp to take out the square holes in between the ladder steps. Stay tuned! To get warm on the shaper, I'm going to start with this piece here, which gets a nice cross knurl and a bunch of holes put into it. We're going to offset the vise by 45 degrees and then just jack in a high feed and go through there with a 90-degree tool.
I'm no millionaire, but I'm not the type to care, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. It's my universe, even with an empty purse, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. I wouldn't take the wealth on Wall Street for a road where nature trods, and I calculate that I am worth my weight in golden rods.
So if we take a look at the contour of the ladder, it's basically a double fold. First you're going to make it into a U shape, and then you're going to fold over the ends 180 degrees and bend them downwards. I want to do this in exactly those two stages. Stage number one will be this U shape and this block here. So we can take a flat piece, lay it on top of here, and then wedge the square bit into it to make it a large U. And then take this T shape, press it down onto there, and make the sides go over. Last step will be to take this reverse U and push it over this first piece to fold the edges over.
Lucky, lucky me, I can live in luxury, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. I'm no millionaire, but I'm not the type to care, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. It's my universe, even with an empty purse, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams.
And there is the first set of dies completed, just like that. I'll be honest, I had a lot of fear whether the slot cutting here would actually work out, because I had some trouble in the past with even mild steel cutting slots where the chip would get caught on the tool, weld itself to the tool, and then bugger up the entire slot, sometimes even breaking the tool. But it seems like this tool steel here is a lot more free machining than the gummy mild steel that I had used before. Without further ado, I've already cut me up a piece of raw stock for a ladder to be, and the two ends will serve as a referencing mark for me to center up the piece in here. Then I can use the first die to fold the ends over. Now I'm going to just start this here on the bench to have something for the sheet metal to cling onto. So I'll just insert the first set of dies here. Vertical vise would be really helpful, but anyways. I hope you can now see how this is going. If not, then scream. So there we go. That's step one. Now I'm going to persuade these guys into the right direction. The second die goes on top. There we go. Now we've got this flat here. Once again, little persuasion in the right direction. And the final die goes over top. Pre-center things, but I think this is going to work out. And there we go. That's the final step, and the finished contour is right here. Now I can start making these by the hundreds. I've already started work on the second set of tools. They're basically just blocks which get certain sizes. It's not that interesting. This one gets a T shaped into it. I'll probably film that. So now I can set the ladder on top of here, and it sits in here nice and snug. This piece sits in here nice and play free. And now is where it gets interesting, because I'm going to have to drill 2 holes and pin them. And then I'm going to have to make a square shape into both, which has to line up perfectly for the stamp to go through it. The top part will be the guide for the stamp, or the punch, and the bottom part will be the cutting edge, so to speak. So in addition to the square hole, it also gets a 2-degree taper towards the end, so that any slug that I punch out of the ladder will then fall free. Last not least, the positioning of the pins is going to be important, because I want the cutouts to be a certain space from the end of the ladder and then a certain space from each other. So ideally I'll be able to just position this against pin number 1, punch the first hole, and then use the punched hole as registering surface for pin number 2, and then just walk my way through this, punching one cutout after the other. I've made these two pieces so that the stamp fits through the guide and it starts in the die. And now I'm going to mark the inside out with Sharpie and then file the angles into here, the 2-degree relief on each side, and watch the die which I put on here disappear until right at the cutting edge. That's when I know I've got a taper all the way through. Then these two pieces need to get hardened. The first time hardening was luckily not successful because I discovered a slight design flaw. The way I had it, I would have had to drill holes for the locating pins, and those would not coincide with the square later punched out. So I drilled another pinhole here, which will allow me to punch a hole, drill a hole, punch a hole, drill a hole, punch a hole, drill a hole, and then always punch out the hole drilled before, so I don't have any nasty issues here. So I've drilled this one first. As you can see, the first alignment stop will be like this to punch the first square in here. So we'll set the guide on top, set everything into place. Don't ask me where I've got this from. I've always had it and I never needed it, but someday I decided to take it with me, and I'm just going to liberally coat the punch in it because that's exactly what it's designed for. I think you Americans call it anchor lube. It's usually used for eccentric presses to lubricate the cutting process, and that's exactly what we need here. To the vise. Like before, we're just going to insert this here, cause misalignment with the punch, and there we go, we've just punched our first hole. And now, punch the pins out. Now, I'm not going to use this pin as a registering, but I'm going to use the hole I just cut and move this one step over and punch the hole like so, with this acting as a locating pin. Now here you can see that the hole we drilled for this locating pin is perfectly covered by the stamp for the next step. Hole number 2. The actual hole punching takes, a fraction of a second, but it's always the preparation. If you look closely, then you'll notice that I didn't get the distance correct the whole time. Sometimes I forgot to actually shove this against the pin. And if you look even closer, then you'll notice that the die has got a dimple from some idiot who tried drilling through with the die assembled the wrong way. So that's a repeating error all the way through both ladders. To be honest, I'm far too proud about the results of these. I mean, they look a lot like factory made with little bits of character, shall we say. So I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to bolt these on as they are, and should I need something like this in the future, I can always make a new die. I'm still doubtful that the hardening actually worked. I think I need to get this hotter and cool it down quicker. Anyways, it did the job, so this is now... It can go into the scrap pile for all I'm concerned. These can go onto the machine. In the last episode, lots of you commented their serious concerns about the safety of this design type of side glass and that I should change. I'm taking these concerns very seriously, and to show that I do, I've made this nice little side glass cover which makes it look prettier. No, I don't want to be an arsehole. Fact of the matter is, despite this having cracked once due to my own stupidity, in my collection there are more steam engines with this bent side glass design than I have ones without it. So it can't be that bad, and it survived the last pressure test. So now by taking it apart once again, putting it back together once again, and pressure testing it again, it should be assured that this is going to work permanently. And there we've got ourselves a handrail. I made these out of bicycle spokes, which is why there is a nut in here. I didn't have any longer spokes, so I had to put something at the end of it. I'll see if this is permanent or whether I'll just, remake these out of one single piece. I mean, it's not that hard to make. Sure looks pretty though. Last not least, chimney. I don't know, somehow this looks like someone bent this over a piece of pipe with a hammer. You can see all the individual creases here. So my question to you for the next episode is, how can I make that better? And with that, I shall conclude this episode, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
To be contenders.